Actually, here we go. Here's one I want to talk about quickly. Who the hell is the secret cameo? Who is it? It's got to be, apparently, unless it's like Jesus Christ himself now showing up, expectations are so high. I don't know what to expect.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to burst a lot of people's bubbles here. Potentially. If the secret cameo that Olsen is talking about is the same who's Bettany's talking about, it can't be Sir Ian McKellen.
Mm-hmm.
So get that out of your mind because he's already worked with him.
Yeah.
So that's completely out of the way. I don't know why. I know exactly why people are going to X-Men people. I don't know why because it makes no sense.
It's gonna be Hugh Jackman looking through the bushes.
I mean, if they bring in Hugh Jackman, I forgot about that. Oh, that took me a second to clock. It's just like, oh no, oh god. And that's the type of weird shit this show is going to do. I lost my train of thought now. Like Hugh Jackman would actually be a really good person to bring
That
in.
would be
huge. Have him be like Mephisto. Like, that'd be so good. Hugh Jackman wouldn't. If Mephisto is in this show, Jackman would.
Could you imagine the amount of chewing Hugh Jackman would be doing in that role? Oh, music to my ears. Oh my god.
Take one more waiter, please. I don't need more of this.
Jackman, please, I can hear you chewing through time and space with this dialogue.
No, the problem with what Olsen has said is I don't think Marvel has anyone right now that is a Luke Skywalker level. The only one it could really be is Tony Stark, which getting Robert Downey Jr. back for some kind of appearance in this would make a lot of sense since she's dealing with trauma. And we're clearly going back to the old Age of Ultron days, so dealing with something around there, it makes sense to bring him in there.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just like the reuse the Iron Man thing from Far From Home, that Mysterio illusion, and do that.
That's true. Yeah. That's sort of the thing. Like, I see expectations have gotten so high for this cameo that I'm like, can they?
They're too high. People have blown it out.
That's what I'm feeling like. I'm like, is this way too high now at this point where like people have built it up so high with so many expectations for what this cameo is that I don't think it can honestly live up to an expectation now. Like,
it's like at this point, like you'll either hit the mark or people are going to be really disappointed with what actually happens.
Yeah. I mean, people are complaining about the show being a TV show. So
what's wrong with that? You can't binge it.
Because kids these days think Netflix is how TV has worked for the last 100 years. They're like, no, this should have been a 3.5-hour movie. It's like, no, it shouldn't have.
No,
why would you want that? Yeah, so they even complain it's a 3.5-hour movie.
Like the way they've done this show as a movie, people would absolutely shit on it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not structured for a movie. It is structured for a TV show. Like if they were going to do old movies, fair enough, make it a movie. But they ain't. They're doing TV shows as a TV show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's the length. It's like, what, a length of a TV show? God forbid.
It's, I don't know, like, there's a lot about the show that it works as a show. That's the thing. What they're doing in it works. And this whole, like, next level of goddamn cameo, it just gets me kind of, like, stuck because, like, I'm seeing some people speculate on it. I'm like, dude, if they're gonna... A lot of people are writing on Magneto. They're like, no, they're going to bring him in. I'm like, look.
Yeah, it's too many people are on that. And honestly, it's...
If they bring in Magneto, I know I might be in the minority, but I'd like it if it was Fassbender. Because he still has a technical Disney-Fox contract that they got to do something with. So...
I'd honestly think if they bring in any mutant character and try to connect her to any of them, it will just destroy the show. I'll be 100% out of that show, that character. It's like, no, what's the point?
Oh,
but I mean, you want Fassbender to show up as like a Jehovah's Witness type person trying to sell her on coming to Genova.
I mean, you can have Fassbender, just don't make him Magneto. Make him someone else.
Yeah.
They're clearly like having a shit ton of Easter eggs for her comic origins anyway, because we've got like Bova in the background. They're
Right.
never gonna do Bova. Let's be honest. Like, there's never gonna be a giant cow person walking around as a midwife. Like, they're never gonna have that. So like, hey, here's Fassbender.
I want
Why not?
Fassbender to show up in their house, like on their door, right? And he's knocking, and he's kind of like the Fallout salesman at the beginning of Fallout 4. He's like, "Have you considered hiding from the upcoming impact of Asteroid M?" What? And then just to leave it at that, be like, "No, we're not taking what you're selling, sir." It's like, oh.
I'd be absolutely fine with that.
It'd be a really stupid and dumb Easter egg to mention
Yeah.
Asteroid M, but it's so stupid that it would work on depth to people being like, did they really just call back to that? Yes, like, yeah.
But that's what people want, like, legitimately, though. They want him to show up and be like, I'm your dad. It's just like,
No.
who the fuck are you?
No.
What do I care?
That is terrible idea. Terrible.
Like, how is that ever a good thing? Like,
How would that even fit what they've done so far? Yeah, that's
exactly.
No.
It's like, unless they do what I personally think the show's going to do and be like, oh yeah, Strucker used the hydrochemical stuff to change your memories in Age of Ultron. That's why we have the blue soap advert with the hint towards the heat and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe they could work some way around that, and then the real dad shows up. But then at that point, it's like, can we just do the Wizard? Like,
Ooh, don't mention that. Jessica Jones still hurt me with the worst special effects known
not
to
the Jessica
man.
Jones Wizard, like the proper Wizard, not the fat fuck that can run quick, like the actual proper.
The worst.
You know, the Wizard of Miss America. Let's do that.
Yeah.
The proper pair.